It's Tuesday Wrestling, and you know what that means. Today we got Gatoh Move ChocoPro, Dontaku Wrestling Night 2 by New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW Dark, and of course NXT. However, we're also going to talk about the latest return of Eva Marie from this past WWE Raw episode. So all of that will be reviewed and discussed about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. Now, let's begin with the latest Got to Move Choco Pro episode. This one is 113. On a side note on this one, May Surreal is not involved in this particular event due to the fact that she is involved in Tokyo Yoshi Pro with her alternate ego named May Saint Michelle, which is the butler or maid to Sakisama. But that's another review for another time. But however, let's review what we do have for this particular event. First match, we got Sayumi taking on Kaori Yoneyama, a veteran. If you guys, I mention her a lot. She's also plays Kokigen Death, or should I say Fukigen Death in Stardom. Uh, really fun wrestling match. But now, keep in mind this entire event with Choco Pro was being overshadowed by Trans Am Hiroshima, who's in the main event against Balianaki. But the match was pretty good. There was some great moments and funny moments, mostly coming from Coyote because she is a veteran, and of course, you can guess right away that she won by pinfall. Next match, we got Sayaka versus Lu Pencil, who's still dealing with the fact of losing Chris Brooks, who left Pencil Army in previously. But however, the match was okay. I wasn't too much fond of it. It wasn't like a very hard hitting or fun comedic match, but it was okay. However, it was Sayaka who won. Next match, the main event, was Balianaki taking on Trans Am Hiroshi. Excellent match. Balianaki had mostly an attitude problem with Trans. He's like singing, try to sing lullabies or whatever. But this is kind of like his attitude kind of cost him, allowing for Trans to win the match by pinfall. So basically, this is what happened. It was a very interesting. Most of the all the matches on this one is all singles competition, no tag teaming like we normally see. Like we have maybe one or two or maybe all tag team matches, but not today. That will be the following episode. This is, I think, 4 out of the 5 that that's been announced by Balianaki that will happen Choco Pro. But however, we'll see on the next episode when I review this on Wednesday Wrestling. So let's move on right now with New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Dontaku Wrestling Night 2. Okay, so this is Night 2 for the Dontaku Wrestling by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Main event is in fact for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, but that's going to be a little later of this event. So let's go from the start to the end. First match, we have Suzuki-gun, Doiki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Taichi taking on the Bullet Club, Yado, and the God. As you know, the rivalry still continues. Now, as you know, the previous night, Taichi obtained the Iron Fingers, and of course, Zack Sabre secured a tag team opportunity against the God. The rivalry still continues to escalate more and more, but however, this was only the beginning, and this could be the start where we get to see um, Dangerous Techers, consistent of Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., to reclaim the tag team titles and prove once again that God are a bunch of losers, that they will purify the tag team division under their image, even though they cheat with the Iron Fingers too. But the rivalry continues, so Dangerous Techers along with Doiki actually won. Next match, we got the Bullet Club, which is a standard 2-on-2 match. Taiji Shimuri and Yujiro Takashi taking on Master Wato and Tenzan. I wasn't too much open to this one very much because A, there was no story build up, but it was a really interesting match. But you can tell right away that it was Taichi Shimori who picked up the victory against Master Wato. I don't know if we will see a rivalry between the two, but never say never. Next match, we got the United Empire, Cobb, Hinare, and Khan taking on LIJ's Bushi, Sanada, and Naito. As you know, each of their members, Shingo and Osprey, will be in the main event. But this match, same old story. As you know, Naito continues to play the little dirty tricks against Khan, but poor Bushi, he gets the tour of the islands every single time. I don't know how many times he got toured of the islands by these guys, but I lost count. So the United Empire won this one, thanks to that. Next match, we got Taguchi, Yano, and Tanahashi taking on the Bullet Club members, Dick Togo, Evil, and Jay White, along with Gatoh. As you know, Tanahashi lost the Never Openweight title to Jay White, but will see a rematch? I don't know. If it does, it'll be coming soon somewhere around Dominion as we know it. But as you know, as you would expect, it would not expect it would be Tanahashi to pick up the victory for his team, allowing Bullet Club to run to the hills on this one. Now we get to the main event, which is for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. I have to say this match was so intense, so brutal, like you would expect a whole lot. Ospreay trying to prove that he is the best in the world, and Shingo, who is trying to make a name for himself ever since he made the transition to heavyweight. And Ospreay, he will not allow anybody to stand in his way of his destiny. And of course, he actually was surprisingly, I have to say, he won the match because I believe that they're going to continue on because there's two possibilities what they're going to continue for. And of course, as you guys know this, Shingo was only the latest obstacle in Will Ospreay's path for destiny. One of the destinies is the right or wrong that took place early this year for Wrestle Kingdom. As you know, he lost the match against Okada and he feels he needs to right that wrong. And of course, Okada had no say whatsoever, but he called his shot saying he wants Okada at Dominion. So this is another important match. But however, I'm going to see what Okada has to say. We know he probably could take the shot of this. But however, the one thing that is going to drive him nuts is that maybe Ospreay will not put the title on the line for him whatsoever. He was one of those few wrestlers that was keen with the idea of not having the unification of both the Intercontinental and the heavyweight title merge. But we'll see what happens then if he will be convinced. So it's going to be a very long road to get there. So let's pay attention very closely to this story and move on forward with it. So let's end it right here and move on with excuse me, AEW Dark. Okay, so we got AEW Dark with some interesting matches. Opening match, we got Team Taz, Starks and Hobbs taking on Aldridge and Fry. As you know, this would end in the favor of Hobbs and Starks. Of course, Hook was right there, but I don't think he did so much, so it ended very quickly. Mostly the work was done by Hobbs while Ricky Stark was taking a backseat, just relaxing. So I don't know if he felt that he took the night off, but we'll see what happens down the road. Next match, we got Diamante versus Layla Hirsch. This match started about a week or two ago where Diamante got in the face of Layla Hirsch during after a tag team match where Layla's teamed up with, of course, Ryo Mizunami, but this time it's a singles competition. I did not expect a whole lot because, to be honest with you, you got two of the most power hitters in. You got two of the best people in the wrestling. I mean, you got Diamante, who's a striker. You got, of course, Layla Hirsch, a very powerhouse individual with a great background. But I have to say, this match was really good. I enjoyed it. And of course, Layla Hirsch pulled off the upset when she put Diamante in the armbar. So she actually won this match. Next match, we got the Varsity Blondes taking on Liam Gray and Adrian Alanis. As you know, Varsity Blondes are making headways in the tag team rankings. Um, I have to say, like, this is not one of the best matches. We yet to see the best match with Varsity Blondes, so we just got to pay attention what they're going to do down the line. So pay attention to the Varsity Blondes. Next match, we got SCU, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian taking on Jane St. Patrick and Spencer Slade. Not too keen, not too pumped for the match, but it did end in favor of SCU when they pull off that finisher move. It was great. Next match, we got Big Swole taking on Megan Bain. I don't know who Megan Bain is. I never seen her, but she had a very interesting kind of like Greek-looking outfit. But like I said, don't know who she is. But there was a couple of spots she was able to pull off, but it didn't go exactly like that. It went up to the favor of Big Swole. It's only a matter of time until we see her make the rankings. Next match, we got Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela taking on Kit Sackett and Justin Law. As you know, I like this duo between Sonny and Joey. Very fun group. Um, you can guess anyway they won the match regardless. Next match, we got Kaylin King taking on Julia Hart. I have to say, Kaylin King has been very impressive, even for a woman of her size. Um, like I said, I did like her when she teamed up either with Red Velvet or Big Swole or all three of them together, but that's pretty good to see. So Kaylin King continues to impress me. I have to say, hopefully, I'm not sure 100% if she's 100% signed with the company, but I'll take a look at it sooner or later. Next match, we got Serpentico taking on the Bastard Pac. As you know, he wasn't even strong enough to take on Pac. Pac is a freaking beast. So you can guess how he won. He put him in the Brutalizer. Next match, we finally get to see the Bunny in action taking on Leela Gray. No members of the Hardy family officer were there, but it was very interesting pace. But we get to see more of the Bunny. I hope we get to see her more in singles competition, which is something we do need to see. But I'm happy that she won. I'm not sure how she is in the rankings, but we'll see down the line. Next we have is the Pac having an interview. He is calling out all the members of the Elite, especially mostly the founders, Omega and the Bucks. As you know, I have that distinct feeling that Pac wants the title and the Lucha Brothers want the tag team title. So it's a good combination, but however, they need to deal with Don Callis and the Good Brothers. Next match, we got the Acclaim taking on David Ali and Vadio Morales. But you can guess anyway that the Acclaim won, as always. Next match, we got Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky taking on the Q Brothers. um, Match ended with Scorpio Sky putting him in that leg lock, which was very significant how it ended. So very crazy, but we don't know yet what's going to happen with the rivalry between Sting and Darby. It's going to be Retribution coming up soon. I can guarantee you that. Next match, we have pretty picture consistent of Caesar Bononi, Ryan Mendez, JD Drake, along with Peter Avalon taking on Dark Order. Uno, Stu, and Alex Reynolds. Great match. I like the way this one played out as well, where, okay, we got a different type of formations within the Dark Order, but now seeing them in this combination also been effective. Next match, we have an amazing high flying match. Dante Martin taking on Daniel Limelight. One of the most interesting matches I've ever watched. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I have to say, it's one of the most best matches I've seen with both competitors. But however, Dante Martin won on this one with the 450 splash. Main event, we got Luther taking on Lance Archer. Now, Serpentico tried to take out Archer, but no luck. But for some odd reason, some point near the end, we see Fuego del Sol coming out to help him. I don't know what they were going with this, but we'll see what happens next week. So Lance Archer won the match. So that's pretty much it. What took place on AEW Dark. So let's end the episode with reviewing what happened on today's NXT. Okay, so we got NXT right now. There's a lot of things that took place. Opening match was the Falls Count Anywhere match between Leon Ruff and Swerve Scott. This match went everywhere. Mostly the match was kind of like dominated by Scott, but there was a moment where you see Leon Ruff tried to get momentum, but however, he could have won the match if it wasn't for the entourage that Swerve Scott had by his side. And now it's been hinted because of this that we may see another stable faction involved. So Swerve won, and he told them that this is going to end right now. Now, Gargano was trying to deal with a simple issue. He knows that Austin Theory screwed up in his match against Bronson Reed, but however, he interrupted Regal while having a meeting with Scarlett. Now, Theory had the audacity. Now, I don't know what he was thinking. Now, if you guys saw that, I thought he was looking at her, you know what? But no, it was the nails. And I'm like thinking, what the hell is he doing? That's the last thing you ought to be. However, they did come across him. Gargano did not try to get out of his match with Bronson. Rico said no, but there he got himself in a pickle, saying that he will be in the match next week against Cross. So that's what you get. Next match, we got this new guy named Asher Hale taking on Cameron Cameron Grimes. As you know, Cameron Grimes has been taking excuse me, has been taking now his wealth to new heights, but he was able to win. However, ever since he won the match, he said he was going to the VIP without Everrise. But when he got the VIP, apparently the guard was telling him that the entire event was bought off by someone, and that person is, what's your price? So once again, he's like, that goddamn Ted DiBiase. So basically, he's been outdoing everything Grimes has been doing. So this is going to be a very interesting story down the line. Now, because of what's been going on in the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, as you know, I have to say I like this idea with NXT. However, it appears that another team has their eyes set on the titles, and that is Kaden Carter and Katie Canizaro. Once again, Frankie Monet tries to act that her presence will make the women's division be hers. It's still trying to go out. One thing for sure, we don't know what she's planning to do. I know she's trying to butt in other people's business. Sooner or later, someone's going to kick her butt. But the real question is, who's going to be that person? Next up, we have, of course, Grizzled Young Veterans taking on Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. What a great match. I have to say, I like this one a lot because it's showing now that Ciampa and Thatcher are taking things seriously with themselves as a tag team. Now, could they be the team that could dethrone MSK? I'm not sure. But however, we do know there's some challengers that want those titles. Next up, we have is, of course, um, Cross comes out to address the entire NXT universe, what's been happening. He told them that he's saying that he's going to prove to everybody that he's this and that. But however, here comes Kyle O'Reilly, who is seeking the one match that would put him on the map, and that match he feels it's going to be Karrion Kross. And of course, Kross has no problem. Once again, Pete Dunne, who claims he's a total badass, gets involved, and then Finn Balor. Everything goes way haywire if everybody were fighting. But however, Gargano said he had a plan against Kross for not getting involved. He thinks attacking him is going to slow him down against Theory. But I hate to be that guy that does that, who thinks nothing with Kross works. Not to mention, even Santos Escobar couldn't even stop him. Now, recently we've been noticing that this new person named Diamond Mine show is coming out. I don't know who this person is, but it's becoming very, very interesting. They're introducing new characters. The next match we have is Zeta Raymer taking on the Warrior of the Sun, Saray. A great match, I have to say. These two women have made an impact since they first started at NXT. You know, Zeta beating Tony Storm, Sarah Murray beating Zoe Stark. I love it. It was a good match, you know. But however, I'm still expecting that one big match that Saray needs to be in. So that's what I'm expecting. However, as soon as the match was over, you see Raymer and Saray talking to each other. It looks like Tony Storm wants to beat them up to send a message to Stark. And apparently Stark stopped her. She knew what she was planning. But however, Tony Storm wants to get rid of her, saying if it wasn't for her, she wouldn't be on NXT. So basically, that's the thing. The reason this is happening was because right now we're still seeing who will be the one to challenge Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT title, the NXT Women's title. So we're still yet to see that come down. Now, the next match we have is Jake Atlas taking on LA Knight. You can guess right away. I think they're giving LA Knight a much bigger push than Jake Atlas because I know he's an awesome competitor, but LA Knight has a great character that you might enjoy or hate, however it's going to be. So that's how I would picture LA Knight to win his match. Now, in this particular match, we have for the street, we see Hartwell and LeRae getting ready for their match. Dexter Loomis left some gifts right there, but LeRae is trying to prevent her to lose focus against Dexter Loomis. So the real question is, what's going to happen? Now, Legado de Fantasma has been making headways, believing that after they defeated MSK and Kushida, that they will gain everything. They see themselves prophesying that Santos will reclaim the cruiserweight title, and of course, that Raul Mendoza and Wildwood now get their chance to become tag team titles. They believe they will prophesize. Look, we've seen this with the Undisputed Era. I'm not sure if I could picture that with them right now because the way I see it, there's other tag teams I would love to see. Like, for example, Grizzled Young Veterans is one of them. So is Tommaso Ciampa and Thatcher. But that's another time for another story. But however, Kushida actually put out a little um, challenge for next week against Escobar for the cruiserweight title, and that gave Escobar a chance that he could reclaim the title. But we'll see what happens then. Now, once again, we've been seeing Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes now. As you know, Gonzalez believes that she is now the one who runs the entire thing, but Mercedes Martinez feels you're nothing but a cookie cutter chick. You see, there's a difference between that. You see, you got this good looking girl who is given everything, and you got the ones like Mercedes Martinez who had to crawl to get to the top. And that's always been a good way to play out. But the real question is, could Mercedes Martinez dethrone Raquel Gonzalez? We'll see what happens in the upcoming for next week, which has already been set. Now, as you know, recently we've been seeing Imperium making their presence known in NXT. They're expanding all the way from the UK to the US, but I don't know what's been going on. They weren't even talking English. Something happened with Wolf. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I can sense that maybe he's a little hesitant or he's conflicted, whatever the case may be. Now, now we get to the main event, which was, of course, the street fight. I wasn't too much keen on this one because I felt they could have put the street fight for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles at a takeover event or somewhere, but it felt too short. It could have gone even longer. I wasn't too keen, to be honest with you. But the match ended thanks to Lorray when she was able to beat, of course, put Blackheart through a steel chair. So this is now she fulfilled what she wanted, is proving that those titles belong to them. But however, I got the distinct feeling that it may not last longer when Gargano loses his North American title, that he may have to go aim higher once again to get the NXT title. So I'm expecting it's gonna may happen sooner. So I think that's it right now with NXT. So let's talk about Eve Marie on her return with WWE. Okay, now this past Raw, we have witnessed the return of Eva Marie. A lot of fans have been upset recently, not because, as you know, a couple years ago, fans had demanded Eve Marie to come back. One of my closest friends saying that he's happy to see her back. But however, there's been a lot of questions that are being asked about her return. As you know, this past April 15th, WWE released 10 wrestlers. Now, there were certain wrestlers I think we were all surprised, like Samoa Joe, Mickey James, Chelsea Green, the Iconics. These were wrestlers I felt they could have done something more for them, but they didn't. And I know fans were saying this and that on social media. It's like, you got rid of these people to bring Eve Marie back. I get the idea. I mean, it is strange that you let go 10 of wrestlers and you brought this person in. Now I know there's been a lot of people that criticize Eve Marie because A, she can't wrestle, B, she doesn't have any charisma, and C, some people probably were happy with her gone, which makes perfect sense. But however, I think the real question is this is best for business for Vince McMahon? Keep in mind, they're doing everything in their power. Now, Raw hasn't been one of those shows that's been lifting up too much ever since. I know people were saying Raw sucks, it had some terrible moments, all of that. It makes it clearer to me to understand that. But however, I'm not sure if having Eve Marie could solve the issue. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that many of the WWE women have their issues towards her in real life, but is this good for them? I'm not sure. If you guys probably wondering, what's Eve Marie been doing the entire time? She's been appearing in films. I know she's a fitness model. All of that. She's been doing a lot of workouts, this and that. But her returning to the ring. I mean, if you guys know, there was that wardrobe malfunction that took place a couple years back. If you guys saw her on Total Diva, she was getting into heated arguments with most of the girls because they were angry with her for not training at the at the performance center. Instead, she trained with Brian Kendrick at his place. So basically, there's been a lot of that. I'm not sure how the Bella twins, who don't like her, would react to this. I'm assuming they probably would be angry that they did this. But like I said, this is what good for business for WWE to bring her back now? I'm not saying I'm a fan of Emery, but we can understand that they brought her back for a reason. Now, let's talk about the people that were let go. that instead of they could have kept instead of bringing back Eve Marie, like Samoa Joe. I feel Samoa Joe should have had a much bigger push, but I did find that whole BS about his weight was the reason they let him go. I don't believe that, but there's that. Mickey James, I have to say she is a veteran. I mean, she could have stayed with the company to help out the younger generation of female talent in WWE, but no, they didn't. And of course, there's Chelsea Green. I felt they pulled it out too soon, all this and that. But however, there is talk that she could be heading to Impact Wrestling as soon as possible. But however, she's dealing with visa issues because she's Canadian. I don't know when she'll take care of it, but she did say that she would rather get married now to be with, since she's engaged to be married to Matt Cardona. And then, of course, there's the Iconics. Do I think they were a draw? No. I mean, look, to me, I did like them for a few reasons. One, they were how do I say, a well established women's tag team, which is fit the mold exactly what we need because mostly we've been seeing women involved as singles competitors, and that's normal. But however, having a legitimized tag team formed, that is something that gets me like going. And B, um, they have some different type of way how they act like comedians, which is something that I enjoy when I watch like DDT or Gatoh Move, that sort of thing. But they are not a draw to me, in my opinion. But who knows the reasons why? But if you guys must know, then there's been potential talks with Sean Spears saying that they are considering maybe potentially joining AEW. I mean, to me, I would have thought they would move to be in Impact Wrestling for the shot of the Impact Knockouts tag team titles. But that's another conversation for another time. But we'll see what happens down the line with Eve Marie when she makes her in-ring debut. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode of me reviewing Gatoh Move ChocoPro, um, Dontaku Wrestling, AEW Dark, NXT, and of course the talk about Eva Marie returning. So can't wait to speak out more what's going on. As you know, we're still continuing with the Gatoh Move. Uh, we got AEW Dark, and I think we may have the last of MLW for this season until they make their reappearance on July or so. So I might do that. I might throw in a Japanese wrestling promotion or two as well, but that depends on how I interpret it. Tomorrow is going to be a very busy day for me, but for now, I'm just going to end it right here for all of you. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.